What's up, guys? Adventures with Ryan here. Just wanted to intro video my new bike. This is the 2022 Aprilia Tuareg. This is a middleweight adventure bike. Not a bike that I expected to buy, honestly. I was more than happy with my 390 Adventure. A subscriber on here, David, if you're watching, you've got a great bike. I do miss it already. Didn't think I would as soon, but I definitely miss that bike. Nothing wrong with it. To be honest with you, I had looked and had talked with a friend of mine for a while on the next step up, and I very much believed that that was a 701 or a KTM 690 Adventure, or 690, I'm sorry, Enduro, which is basically the same thing. And the dealer that I was looking at only had one, and it was a supermoto version. And also kind of wanted to expand my target list. The Tuareg 700 is a pretty coveted bike, and I looked at that. The availability here in Middle Tennessee was not great. I believe it was at least until the fall before they would have any come available, and I think there were waiting lists on those. So I started looking around, and a very similar bike to the Tuareg 700 is the Aprilia Tuareg. Now, this is not a review of this motorcycle, as I've only put 200 miles on this motorcycle, mostly highway, due to the fact it's still during break-in period. I'm trying to get those miles up to 621 miles, which is the initial break-in period, first service, and all that stuff I will do myself. But I usually run the first, whatever it is, break-in miles, try to get it done on the road before I'm beating it up. But so I started looking around. I started seeing some videos about this bike, and honestly, it has taken me by surprise. It is very nimble. The seat is very slender. The weight is very centered. Aprilia definitely took their time with this motorcycle. Obviously, it's heavier than the 390. I don't like that. But going into a middleweight class, you're going to get more power. There is a trade-off. You're going to get more weight. Unless you were going after that 701 or 690 Enduro, which I had planned. And honestly, the electronics packages they have out now, and the technology with the ABS, all that stuff bit me. The KTM 390 Adventure had all of that, and I loved it. It's familiar to me now, very comfortable, using that as a rider aid. I know some people are not, and they tend to stick to the old, carbureted thumpers. This is an inline twin. It pushes 80 horsepower. This motor is out of their Aprilia 660. But I want to say Tuono, but I'm not 100%. But it's their sport bike motor. And they took it and they rotated it back and torqued it down, so you're getting more low end out of it, low end torque. Man, this thing is it's a beast. I'm anxious to see how it does off-road. I do feel pretty comfortable on it. I've taken it maybe a mile, at most, at my parents' house off-road. Their driveway is pretty gnarly. Took it around there. Made sure to be careful because I don't have my crash protection yet. I do not have skid plate, things like that. So I'll kind of pick you guys up and take you around the bike and kind of show you what it comes with and what it doesn't. So it comes with the Brembo brakes. KTM, I think, had Vibri, but comes with premium brakes. I think the suspension is a Kayaba suspension. I've not heard of that. So they're all the reviews, Adventure Pulse, all the major outlets are just raving about this bike. They say that it outperforms the Tenere 700 in every category, and that was impressive to me. Every major outlet that I watched basically said the same thing, that this bike outdoes the Tenere, and there were even some guys on Big Rock Moto that were saying they would have rather have purchased their a Tuareg instead of their 901, and I think one of the guys just had an issue with his 901. I think there were some quality control issues with it, but yeah, so you know, it comes with pretty standard kind of flimsy skid plate, which will need to be replaced, which is normal. The exhaust is actually not that bad. The note is good. It is a large can, but it's not bad for stock. They come with the Pirelli Scorpion Rally STRs, which I'm not a fan of, but that'll do for street until I get the break-in done. The front actually is not that bad. You know, you can work with that front, but I will want something more aggressive. The headlight styling is different. I didn't like it at first, but it's actually grown on me. The cruise control on this bike is just it's in a different dimension for me, because I've never had cruise, because I don't ride street really. But I will say that if you are looking to tour on this bike, it is very capable of touring. I would, you know, just like my 390, I would take it to California and back. I think you would be probably a little bit more comfortable on this bike on the highways than the 390, but not to slight that bike at all. The 390 is best in its class and is more than capable of touring on. Two up, I would not recommend. If you're going to two up tour, you know, this bike would be a better match for you. I do not plan to do any touring, you know, other than finishing the other half of the Continental Divide on this bike, this will be my weapon of choice. So I'm gonna get it outfitted. I did want to just do a little intro video of the bike. One major drawback for me was the oil filter located so close up front here, but there are skid plates that come, you know, up here. The engine is a stress member, 6 mounting points, so that's going to mean, now it's directly mounting to the engine, but it's kind of not, because these little brackets that come down right here, they go through into they thread into the engine, but it's not actual piece of the engine that your crash bars and things are mounting to. So that's a plus, like this big frame here. So that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable with, you know, using the engine as a mounting point, as it's got braces and supports, which they've done their research. They know what they're doing. I don't. So I will give you a view of it. Let's see. It really has all the bells and whistles. It's got 4 different riding modes: individual, urban, off-road, and explore. Like I said, I've got 203 miles on mine, but right now I'm just in the break-in period, so this thing is clean as a whistle. But I'll give you guys a start up so you can hear it. So I did want to mention another big plus to this bike was the tubeless wheels, tubeless spoke wheels. You know, that right there, tubeless spoke, you're talking easy tire repair, unless you just have a major blowout, which you're going to have bigger problems. you know, if you have a major blowout. But easy tire repair for punctures. The wheels were a huge draw. Obviously I like the spoke wheels, just spoke, and I liked the tubes. I can still carry a tube with me, you know, worst case scenario. But being able to patch instead of replace is a huge plus. Saves a lot of time. My brother's 1090 Adventure, we had an issue on the trail, and we're pulling into town, and he had a flat, and it was so hot outside. No cover, no escape, and luckily he had tubeless spoked wheels, and we patched it, and in, you know, 15 minutes we're back on the road. Whereas you know, a tube swap would have been painful. So anyway, this is just an intro video. I will do a more in-depth review of equipment that I've added, and, you know, places I've gone with it. I do plan to take this bike in some technical terrain. It's going to live most of its life off-road, at least my plans for it are now, because I don't really ride street. But did want to let you guys know I did get rid of the 390, and, you know, I regret saying I regret it. Would be, you know, I do in a sense regret that, because I know I'm going to miss that lightweight off-road. But, you know, it was a situation where I was possibly, you know, discussing and thinking about an upgrade, and the opportunity presented itself. I pulled the trigger. I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I do like this motorcycle. The 390 will always hold a special place in my heart. It took me across country to the Continental Divide, at least half of it. So I do plan to finish that half on this bike, and I will keep you guys updated. I'll have some rides and stuff uploaded as soon as I can get this thing equipped and I'm comfortable, you know, that it can take a spill and not destroy. I'm not big money, so, you know, every little dollar I can save helps, and I don't want to drop this thing in a creek bed and without proper protection. It's not a very smart decision for me or my wallet. So, but thank you guys for watching. Ask any questions you want, you know, 390 related or this bike, and I'll be happy to answer. Keep riding.